I remember that in the 80s, I used to see on TV an army propaganda with a very catchy slogan that, according to what I was reading in an article, so far is the most ideal and catchy slogan I have ever heard. Be all you can be. And the fact is that we currently live in a time where people are afraid for different reasons and are aware that you can't always be what you want to be. Why are people afraid? Well, because we live in a time of uncertainty where there are a few job opportunities. Jobs are disappearing rapidly today because of artificial intelligence and because things are changing so fast that we are not even realizing it. But south of the border, one thing you have to give Mexicans credit for is that they have an amazing ability to adapt quickly to any situation. They will always find a solution to everything, no matter what the problem is. Whether or not they have the tools at hand, Mexican creativity will always be present. Even they say that NASA wants to hire Mexicans. So, what's all this about? In today's video from Mexico by the Teacher Club, I will tell you about a curious anecdote that happened. Do you know the Ferrari car brand? I'm sure you do. And in case you don't know it, let me tell you that it is an Italian brand of sports cars that many people want to own, but very few can because of the high cost. In the United States, a Ferrari car can cost from $250,000 to $500,000. But what do the Ferrari brand and a Mexican have in common? Well, let me tell you. In 1950, the Carrera Panamericana or Pan American race was born. This happened in Mexico. We are talking about one of the most demanding endurance races in history that tested the best cars and the most experienced and daring drivers of the time. Umberto Maglioli was a very important Italian motor racing driver in his time. He was in his Ferrari 375 Plus, leading the fourth and last stage of the race. But shortly before the end of the fourth stage, his car started to fail. The crankcase is a kind of bathtub-shaped container that collects the lubricating oil that falls out of the engine. This part was damaged in the pilot's Ferrari. In the middle of nowhere, and with no spare part for this vital part of the car, the hopes of finishing the race were practically nil. In the fifth stage of the race, and when the car was practically about to stop working, Umberto Maglioli stopped in the middle of the road when he saw a small body shop called El Milagro. Maglioli was greeted by Renato Martinez, who was the owner and sole mechanic of the shop, in the middle of nowhere. Renato Martinez confirmed to Maglioli that it was indeed an oil leak in the crankcase and that he had a creative solution to repair it in that moment, at least to be able to finish his trip. Renato Martinez grabbed a bucket and a large bar of soap. He also took 3 small bottles of Coca-Cola and gave them to Maglioli, saying, "While you drink this Coke, I'll fix your car." Maglioli was not so sure, but he could only sit back, drink the Coke, and hope for a miracle. In the meantime, Renato Martinez disassembled the Ferrari and, using a bar of soap, began rubbing the crankcase little by little. By friction, the soap melted and created a paste that sealed the leak hole. The soap removes the oil and adheres to the metal of the crankcase, and as it solidifies, it becomes rock hard. Amazed, Maglioli thanked Renato and took out of the Ferrari a small Rolleiflex camera with which he captured that miraculous moment. The body shop El Milagro, or The Miracle, and Renato together with the Ferrari 375 Plus on the repair was immortalized. Umberto Maglioli in his Ferrari 375 Plus finished the fourth stage of the race in first place and changed the history of Ferrari forever. While Ferrari was a well-known automobile in Europe, it was not well-known in the United States, and the brand was far from an economically viable business. Ferrari desperately needed to prove to America that their cars were superior, fast, and reliable. Winning the race would bring them recognition and sales in the United States, which would help them save the brand from bankruptcy. Sometime later, Renato Martinez, the mechanic, received in the mail the printed photograph Maglioli had taken of that moment. The photograph was signed, "To my friend Renato M. from Umberto Maglioli." The photograph was together with a letter thanking Renato. The message said, "Renato, the Mexican miracle that helped Ferrari." That letter was signed by a man named Enzo Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari was the creator of this car brand. In another video, I'll tell you his story. Many people of other nationalities say that Mexicans don't rule the world because they don't want to, since they are very inventive in creating a solution where apparently there is none. In this story, we can see that even in the middle of nowhere, the mechanic was able to find a way to solve the problem, even with time against him, and finally achieve the task. Remember that we were talking about a very important competition, and this was decisive for the success of the Ferrari brand. If you like this video, please like it. This is very useful for us to continue creating this kind of content for you. We invite you to subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell so you know when we are going to upload a new video. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time, we will be uploading a video about something curious from Mexico. If you have a topic you would like us to talk about, please leave it in the comments below. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye for now.